If you've been overthinking or having beat block or been told your beats got too much going on,
nah, that ain't it.
This video is going to help you improve on this, only if you let it though. I can only speak from my experience and the other people that I do one-on-one calls with, and you know, I see where they struggle at and how they can get past that. So I'm just going to cook up and share my insight along the way in this video. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm just going to pick out a loop, dark and aggressive. Let's just go with the first one. So just like that, finding something and deciding to just make a beat out of it real quick. It don't always have to be like, oh, I gotta go in with the intentions to make a hit record. We could just load that real quick, shift and mute just to get the sample edit a lot faster. Let's just hear out the sample. And the first thing I like to do to my samples is just to tune it. So getting a vibe, and also you ain't see me just jump these big numbers like 5 or 6, even though that does sound dope. But right now in my head, I feel like I want to make some like West Coast beat, because when I heard it, I hear like a West Coast loop off the back. And right now we're at the BPM of 88. So West Coast beats like Shoreline, they be around 98 to 100.
Must be OGs cause you stay serving custody.
So going up at least 2 is gonna get near that number. And then from here, I could just chop it. So I could go to BPM chops, and then I just have my chops. I could just do shift and convert, do new drum track using slices, go back. Now you can see all my slices. And then I'm just gonna come up with a rhythm, bro. And you don't always have to stick to that one rhythm like 1, 2, 3, 4. You ain't gotta always follow that. But what a lot of producers do is just stick to one workflow. So that's why I'm saying, if you was doing sheet music on the side and you know, doing other skills, you will see how it will all come full circle. Then you can start doing different rhythms. So you can start doing dotted rhythms like 1 or 2 and 4, 1 or 2 and 4. I'm just gonna put my BPM up to like 97. Like I said, I'm just guessing right now. So then now I could go into grid view. I was clearly off, but I could just put it on the grid. As long as it's on the grid, then I know I just could find the tempo a lot easier just like that. So like I said, 1 or 2. So that was on the and I need to be on the So you have 1 E and and then I think the rhythm was supposed to land on a 2 and. See, here what I'm doing right now is sheet music in my eyes, because I understand where to place my notes and I don't even have to have the tempo just yet. Now, obviously I could just play it back and mess around with it, but I do want to show you guys how useful this skill is, just to know your rhythms, because then in this way you can start to place your notes a lot faster in the right timing. Pad 7 and pad 8 is kind of the end of that loop, so I could just hear how it switches up. So it's kind of resolving, and this is how you keep your beats from not sounding boring. And since we're already having a 4-bar loop, it's good to end it after 4-bar. Let's just move this one up to pad 7. You can just go to transpose and just move it up to pad 7. Move this other one up to 8. I like that they show the numbers right here too. And see, I already sound like I'm on the tempo. I don't even think I need to mess around more with it. Hear the difference from 100 and 97. It's a bit choppy, and it's not that if it's wrong or right, because this could be dope in another sense. Alright, so that sounds cool to me. What I'm about to do next is actually go to Arranger. I'm gonna hold down on this and bounce to sample. And the reason why I'm bouncing to sample, because another thing, I want to get more into finger drumming. I want to have my pad up here, so I gotta sample it out and put it back into another track. So I'm just gonna, or I could go back to my first track since I didn't use it, do shift and sample edit. Now you can see my bounce sample. I would just assign it and put it up here. So now I could play this and have my drums down here and my 808s and whatever other samples that I come up with. Now I could hit pad 1, there's nothing there, and I could start looking for my kit. So now when it comes to like not doing too much with your beat, most of the time it's just about having the right sounds, even the drums, because sometimes you might just pick certain drums and you feel like you need more drums, and it's really not that. You need a quality drums that matches that timbre, that vibe for your track. And a good way to do this to get the right timbre and everything is to play your sample and also go through your kicks. And now probably some of you guys are doing that, but really just listen in. Yeah, we'll go to kick 1 shot 2. So another reason a couple of you guys may haven't beat block is because you're caring too much about being original. Sometimes it's just about, you know, using good practices. I heard this kick in a lot of West Coast beats. You know, for the Shoreline Mafia kind of sound, they have those hard punchy kicks. So this is why I'm saying stop looking at it as like, oh, you're jocking somebody or you're copying, because that's one way to look at it, and then there's another way. Just remember, we live in duality. There's always gonna be a polarity. So it's like, why are you choosing the polarity side that is gonna limit you versus something that can give you more insight and enhance you? And then from here, I could go pick out a clap and do the same thing. Play my sample, and not just only play my sample, I could play my kick, so then I'm doing this in context. And then I could go into the hi-hats, do the same thing. Actually, I like 1 shot 4. So like, even if you take your time, you're gonna find something that matches a bit better versus just trying to do it one by one and not hearing it in context. And then this is not something you gotta do all the time, because I could clearly hear open hat that I would think that would sound nice to the beat. And then I just wanna have like 2 percussions just so I can mess around with. Let's go to the unison kit. This is still one of my favorite drum kits because of all the stuff it has, man. All these 808s, and they all tuned to C. And then they got all these perks. That sound pretty cool. I don't know what that is. Now we can mess around with it. And here's another thing of building on top of your skills, going back. Most people, they like to click in notes or they like to do one by one. But if you learn finger drumming, using an MPC becomes more fun, but it also enhances your workflow for more speed. Because a lot of you guys be talking about, nah, that's going to slow down my workflow. Now it may slow down your workflow in the beginning, but if you keep going the same route, you're just going to go slower and slower to the destination versus just taking that time to take a step back. Because once you take that step back, you can build better tools into your car, and then you could just surpass that other vehicle that you had before. This is the whole point. You're going to have to take steps back and forth if you want to improve faster and not to stay on the same course with the same vehicle, bro. So now I got the tempo and everything. Now I could just kind of take my time and just come up with some flows. So I actually messed up as far as my timing, but you know, with the time correction on, you know, right here, and the snap to the 16 grid, it actually made a dope part right here in the beginning. I could go back in and fix this little part, and I could either just go here and just press erase, do it, and then just grab this section, and then just copy those bars after bar 3 and just put merge. There we go, got a rhythm going right there. And then what I could also do is, I know a lot of people like the workflow of using different sequence for different patterns. Instead of me going to a different sequence, I'm just going to keep building in the arranger mode. So I could actually just duplicate this track and then just mute the first track, go back to my arranger view, and just come up with some other patterns. With the time correction, you could get away with something. And then just press nudge. So that could work, you know. I ain't got to get all perfect. Remember, this is just practice. So right now, having those 2 loops, I could just go back to my arranger. So what I can do is go to edit and then insert bars. And then I'm gonna do before bar 5 and do 4 bars. So now I got a blank insert, and I could just move this over here. Since I'm on track 2, I could just copy those bars. So it's gonna be after bar 4, and then just press merge, and then I could just erase, you know, what I have on the first track. And then up here, we could just erase that top portion. Make sure we grab the whole thing. So then I could unmute this, and we could play this back to back. And then from here, I could just keep adding more ideas and then just, you know, putting it on the blocks instead of doing it through sequence. Some of you might complain that might take longer, but sometimes, you know, if I'm already in the workflow, it can actually be more efficient. You just got to see it through, and you got to see it through without complaining, bro. Because if I had it on different tracks, I couldn't see it back to back unless I went to menu and turn it into a song and then go back and then pretty much end up doing the same thing. A lot of people want to say, oh, but it's too small. Dude, you can always zoom in. Like, I don't see the issue right there. But like I said, if you're that person that likes to find a problem to every solution, you're gonna lose each time. The bass is already in there, so I don't even need to add a bass. And then from here, I could do a lot more, from like even put a halftime on a melody. Let's even see what that would sound like. Effects, and we're gonna press mix again so we can go into individual pads. And when you click on a pad, it will jump right to it. Let's just go to effects again. Let's go to, I think it's in modulation, half speed. Boom. And sometimes I like to go to a different preset in the half speed. I could just build this whole thing out, but I just wanted this video to be more so about how, you know, not overthinking your beats, just looking at it as practice, because that's exactly what you need to gain the experience to get better at music production. I think it is about quantity. Don't let people only just tell you it's about quality. It's about quantity with the right effort. Because right now, yeah, I'm practicing, messing around, but then I also would use the app Melodics for finger drumming, and that will help for training in that part. So honestly, this beat making is a performance compared to me using Melodics. So this is just me performing and then practicing my performance, obviously, but then I still have other drills. So you can also look at it as drills. You gotta build on top of your skills, bro, is what I'm saying. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, share with your other producer friend. This is just my point of view of how I be going about making beats, and just for the moment right now, because I have a goal that I'm trying to reach to by next month. So peace.